Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Daily Live Extra. It is Monday, the 6th of September. We're talking James Rodriguez today. Obviously pictured on a yacht in Ibiza over the weekend. Very nice work if you can get it. It looked lovely. Looked very nice over there. It looked like he was having a fine time. Having a little go of a vape. Another picture, he's having a lollipop. But the rumours and the links continue to swirl around where James Rodriguez is concerned. Obviously, we thought that once the transfer window closed, that he would be here for the season, and that may still be the case, by the way. But I guess as long as the window's still open, and it still is for a couple of countries, you know, certainly Turkey, Russia, and Portugal, it's still open till the 22nd of September, I think it is. So as long as it's still open for them, these links will continue. It'll be interesting to see what happens this week, really, with Everton. Is he back in training? You know, with the team, is Rafa Benitez going to include him in the squad? I think we'll know more about that come Friday, if he's still here, if these links aren't true. So it's going to be an interesting week, I think, ahead, because, like I say, we'll know more by the weekend, won't we? Yeah, I don't know what to do with this. You know, I think when there was the hope that we might get somebody in if he went out, and Diaz being the main one, I kind of made me peace with it and just gone, okay, well, he's not going to be here, then let's get him out the door. Let's get his replacements in and save a lot of money for the club in the process. But not being able to replace him if he does go out the door, you know, he is still a quality footballer. And you do weigh up that thing, you know, you weigh up the thing of, is he a negative impact on the squad or not? I mean, I've not seen much to say that he is. But you do have to balance that up with how much work does he put into training, how committed is he to Everton Football Club this season? Because we're going to need everybody to be fully on board and fully committed this season. And if James Rodriguez, no matter how good he is, isn't fully committed, is that going to affect us? Affect the team spirit, whatever? If he is fully committed, then outstanding, on we go, and we can use him because he's a quality footballer. But I think these links are going to continue no matter what, while there's an opportunity for him to move on. I looked at these initial links with Turkey, and I was just like, there's no chance he's going to go to Turkey because who can afford him? But who knows? Who knows what can be done? Who knows if he's going to take a pay cut, if it's real? Who knows if Everton are going to bridge it and pay half of it, and he goes and plays with the other half? So it's going to be interesting. Wayne Ellis says, is it for the goodness of the team to play a player that clearly has no intention of wanting to play for the Blues, no matter how good he is? I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? We're obviously surmising whether he wants to play or he doesn't want to play. And that's up to Rafa Benitez, I guess, and his coaching staff to decide. Cameron Speak says, if it's so evident that we couldn't get a right back in and then the following week Coleman gets injured. So annoying that all of our Republic of Ireland players seem to get injured on international breaks. Yeah, well, listen, it was always the fear, wasn't it, with Seamus? He picked up injuries last season. He plays at 100% all the time, which therefore means that he's just, you know, prone to sustaining injuries. And we needed him to just be playing one game a week, and that hasn't been the case. So it's very, very disappointing. Aaron says, afternoon, lads. G Green says, sell. You know, just get rid of James, basically. Don King says, hopefully we will never see this lazy bad apple on Merseyside again. Do we know he's a bad apple, though, Don? I get what you're saying. You're seeing all of this stuff, these links and everything else. But we're just going to have to see how Benitez deals with it, really. And Marcel Brands, I guess. Don also says, get this clown out of the club. Bill Kenwright says, hello, Bill. says, get him out of our club. Send him to Istanbul. Everton Girl says, Marcel Brands needs to go. Dan Boy says, effort over skill for me. We've got on fine without him so far. Okay. Severio numero uno says, yes, probably a blue t-shirt that he bought for a measly £495 in response to our headline for today. Mark Smith says, still no tops in Colombia. Not great. Don says, Rafa's doing the right thing. Jordan Penev says, hello lads, I was wondering now, can it be that all the prices this window were bumped because of COVID and that's why we were quiet? In that sense, isn't hanging back considered good business? Well, the prices were up. There was less money around. I mean, Everton, just based on not having fans in the stadium, lost between 16 and 18 million pounds just straight off the bat from match day revenue. So that would have been cash ready, which would have made it easier to do some deals, and that wasn't there, as well as prices going up and a lot of other money sloshing around, so to speak. So, yeah, I guess in the end, it could be that not doing anything is actually the best thing we could have done. Time will tell. It's still frustrating that 3 years on we don't have a right back. It's frustrating to me that we don't have that pace, you know, off the right wing, real sheer and pace that we were looking at. Townsend's done great so far, and I think he will be a good addition for Everton, definitely. But I would have liked another winger as well. Don says, cancel his contract and get him gone. He's a clown. Jacob says, you think Tom Davies could work at right back? You know what? This is something I've mentioned a couple of years ago. Tom, again, because of Seamus, saying, I wonder if there's an opportunity for him to play in at right back. The only thing I think would go against him is he's not quick, is he? And you have to get up and down that line, a modern day fullback. He could probably fill in there, but then so could others. I'm just not convinced he's fast enough to play on that right-hand side. But I've no doubt he could do a job there, but to become a right back, no, I don't think so at this point. I still think he's better as a number 6. But who knows? Chris says, with Seamus injured, what if we did a 4-4-2 where we put Richie on the wing and Andros to fill in as right back and put James as the split striker? So basically a 4-4-1-1, because he wouldn't really be up there with Don, would he? I don't know. I mean, we've got a lot of people, Chris, saying get rid of James, so we'll have to wait and see. The manager will know how committed he is, won't he? Dan Boy says, at the end of this year, all the deadwood or bad eggs will be out of contract. We could be in for a mini rebuild, a bit like Palace had this summer, but more determined players needed. Sam says, hi Baz, in my opinion, I hope he does go. The way we'll have money from him instead of leaving on a free. That way we'll have money from him. Yeah, maybe, but we can't just cancel his contract. He's got to agree a deal with someone, hasn't he? And no one would take him now. I don't think you can pay his full 200 grand a week. But maybe Everton could pay 100 grand and whoever it is pay 100 grand and then it'd save Everton £5 million this year. Steve P96 says, would you be that surprised if we fail to sign a right back next season? Because I genuinely don't think I would be. It's getting ridiculous now. We've needed one since Koeman was here. Now, I think we will definitely sort the right back, Steve. It's out there. It's glaring. I think, to be fair to the club, for a little bit, I guess they did try to get a right back, didn't he? You know, Dumfries, for whatever reason, didn't happen. A bit of money and a bit of agent fee and a bit of Rafa probably saying he's not actually brilliant defensively. Obviously, the likes of Max Aarons and that were out of our league in terms of money-wise, just because we didn't have the room in the budget to do it. And then obviously Maitland-Niles was highlighted as someone who can play there and cover a couple of positions. So we'll have to wait and see. we'll have to wait and see what it is. Joe Briggs says, James was in Costa Rica, not Ibiza, as that's red listed. I'm just going off all the reports, and in about 6 different news outlets have said it was Ibiza. So, I don't know, Joe. Maybe it was Costa Rica, I don't know. I'm just saying what many different outlets are reporting today as well, saying it was Ibiza. Lewis G says, oh, and yes, our need for a right-back has already become apparent just days after the window shut. Can't say we didn't see this coming. Yeah, correct. Dan Boy says, surely the club are having conversations with Aurier and his agent. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe they're thinking Mason Holgate can do a job there, or John Joe Kenny, or Ben Godfrey. It's whether or not Aurier would want to come as, you see, for Serge Aurier, 28. I imagine he was on a good wage at Tottenham and will want a good wage because he's free. If he was to come on a year loan or a short-term contract and just to sign to the end of the season, 1 season contract, then fine. I wouldn't have an issue with that. But if he wants a 3 or 4 year deal on big money, then is he good enough for Everton to do that? Is he good enough for Everton to say to a 28-year-old, we're going to give you, I don't know, 90 grand a week and a 3-year deal? Because next year, he's not amazing, is he? He's decent, but he's not amazing. So, I just don't know. But I'm sure Everton will have had a conversation with his advisors just to see where the land lies. We'll see what the outcome of that is. Aaron says, do you think we should keep him or sell him? It's a tough one because for me, he's such a good footballer, but if he isn't committed, then it can be an issue. I wanted to see him. There's no question about that in an Everton shirt. What can you do? What can you do? With the manager and the coaching staff and Marcel Brands will make that decision. And we'll have to see what decision they make. James Dunlop says, afternoon, Baz, hope you're well. Thank you, James, I am. Bill Kenwright says, if he was committed to us, he wouldn't be in Ibiza. He'd be getting fit at Finch Farm. But if he's been given a few days off, like a few of the players were this weekend, then, what can you do? Basic Trigonometry says, I thought Bill was on his yacht with Ped. Maybe he is. Who knows? Mark D10 says, Rodriguez needs to sort himself out. Whatever he decides to do, people are going to judge him on his actions. He's been warned by his national coach what he needs to do to play again for Colombia. Dan Boy says, Bar's thoughts on a 3-5-2 with a Iwobi at right wing back without Coleman. I think it's our best option. I honestly think he'll just play Mason Holgate there, or John Joe. It'll be one of those two. And we'll just carry on playing the same way we've been playing. Don't know whether he'd want to mix it all up now when they started well. That's not to say they won't, but I just see him playing one of the other two there. Lockie White says, someone who's just had pretty much 2 weeks off training and then goes on holiday, that is not someone who's committed to Everton. We don't need that one bit. Okay, Ryan says, don't know where all this James hate has come from. Rafa doesn't like him because he doesn't work, but he's a quality footballer, be good from the bench. Beryl says, at the moment, James is doing himself no favours. He won't get any decent team coming for him or get back into the national side unless he buckles down and starts training well. Stephen says, get James out the club, doesn't give a toss about us. Steve P says, let's be honest, even with his flaws, Aurier walks into this team at the moment. Joe Briggs says, why would Rafa let him go on holiday when he's been in isolation for weeks? If he was planning on using him, he'd be back in training. Lee Dykes says, we actually have a chance to see James in the 10 with pacey runners either side, and people want him out. Arguably our best player last season. Steve Evans says, I'd take Aurier. Hakon says, I read that Rafa wants Andros to focus on the final third. This will put more strain on the right back, won't exactly help Seamus. And K123 says, I'm not sure why people are happy with Townsend. I can see him becoming super frustrating. He does not have the quality and the right decision making. Already see that. I think he's been good already. Got a goal. He's got an assist. Puts in some tremendous crosses. Most accuracy in the Premier League last season. I think he's decent. He's a good squad player. So that's why I think Everton were looking at another winger, weren't they, and didn't get it. And then Townsend would have just been a squad player. But at the moment, he's fine. And being a big part of why Everton have started so well. Ryan says, no sentimentality in footy. He's a quality player and will get goals and assists from the bench. Dan says, is James not allowed a holiday while the international break's on? Kevin says, the need for right back will be addressed in January. You sound tired, boss. I'm a little bit tired today. I've had one of those mornings where I didn't have a great sleep. And then I had one of those mornings where things just take longer to do than what you think they're going to. And I just feel a little bit like, yeah, a little bit tired today. I'll wake up in a minute, sure of it. Liam says, do you know what, Baz? I'm actually looking forward to seeing what Rondon can do. Seems like the type of player we love. But yeah, he's a hard work and backup striker, isn't he? But he's committed and gives everything. And so that's what we've got to, we've got to have those players in the squad, but we also have to have quality as well. And then from there, we can do it, can't we? Damien Hagan says, all right, Baz, any shouts on right back? We have to rely on Kenny. We are weaker down that side. Holgate or Kenny, I think, will play there. Mate, that's what I think. Unless Everton do go after Serge Aurier. Like I say, if it was the type of deal that suits Everton, then fair enough. I wouldn't want it to be a long-term deal on big money. Because we're trying to get those players out the door, ones that we don't. If Aurier was identified and we were like, he's the one we want, then fine, that's a different story. But I just think it's a little bit short term if we end up giving him big money, because we're kind of going back in circles then. Reece Colburn says, is Ben Godfrey fit? I believe he's returning to training this week and they expect him to be fit, so fingers crossed for that. Corn Van Pletten says, it's a disgrace that Brands couldn't find a left back in his first season, but hasn't found a right back in 4 seasons. Yeah, it's a strange one. There's no question about that. Mixie said, the best player since Kanchelskis. It's a no-brainer. He's quality. We keep him. Lee Toffee says, if James isn't committed and doesn't train hard, surely they can cancel his contract or even lower his wages. They can't cancel. You can't do that because of basic employment laws. Peter Collins says, just throw Kyle John in at right back and tell his teammates to guide him. Kevin says, natural talent only gets you so far. The rest is up to hard work. Liam said, I'd have loved to have seen James live, but I just want him gone, Baz. He has the talent, but lacks the fight needed for our dressing room. Saburio numero uno says, imagine James with Rondon's attitude. He'd probably still be playing for a top side, wouldn't he, really, if he had Rondon's attitude? Let's be honest about it. There you go. Mr. Glamper said, Ped fresh from Camas Bay. I was stalking you from the Harbour Hotel. He's still off. He's off all week. He's in Wales all week. In Anglesey. Yeah, he was in Camas Bay yesterday. Sent us a nice picture, didn't he, Ned, of Camas Bay yesterday. Lee Dyke says, Kenny has one last chance to give it his all. Otherwise, I'd rather see Holgate at right back, because Godfrey plays centre back. That's right. Memory Bubble says, anyone got any thoughts on getting Donny van der Beek? He wouldn't have been one I'd have gone after, I'll be honest, because I've not seen anything of him for United. Seen him for Ajax and he looked good, but the Premier League, even Marco van Basten's been saying today, he's not, the Premier League, to play in the Premier League, it's totally different than anywhere else. It's not easy. And he doubts whether, because he played in the 10 at Ajax, he could do it in the Premier League. Only time will tell this year whether he gets in at United. K123 says, Baz, where do you think we'll finish? We had a great start last season, but injuries and weak mentality cost us. We're almost the same group. What do you think? Though James won't play that much. James won't play that much, but we've got Damari Gray, Andros Townsend in there. Rondon now is a good sub. We've got John-Philippe Gbamin back to boost the squad as well. We've got a manager better suited to these players. So I think Everton will be in a fight for Europe. Can we do it? I hope so. But Everton will definitely be, in my opinion anyway, in a fight for those European places. I'll have to see how we get on. Cassie Raffman says Delph was good at left back against Leeds. Dosbick says, hi Baz. Hello Dosbick, mate. Lee Dykes says, I haven't bought a shirt this year because no player stands out as a true Evertonian and the big names always seem on the point of leaving. Fair enough. Dosbick says, do you guys always spend your holidays in Wales? Is it such a nice place? Wales is lovely, especially the weather. Like, you know, I was there last week for 10 days and the weather was gorgeous and Ped's having a nice few days as well. So when the weather's like this, it's brilliant. The reason why we've had a lot lately is because we can't go anywhere else, really, can we? So, you know, I'm missing Florida big time. But we can't go, so you go where you can do, and Wales is a great option. It's only, where I go to is only just over an hour's drive. Ped's gone to Anglesey, which is 2 hours drive, but it's lovely, so yeah, it's a lovely place. Steve Evans says Donny's too slow and weak. Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying. Conan Van Pletzen says, do you think we'll win the Premier League in the next 10 years? From this stage at the moment, no. Can it happen? Absolutely. But do I think we will? No. But at this moment, everything's a building block, isn't it? So you have to start somewhere. Corn says, took City 4 years to win the Prem since the money came in. The money came in 2006 to Man City. Don't forget, they were successful in their second takeover, not the first one. Taxkin Shinawatra took over first, and they spent a hell of a lot of money. And we're getting dictate won by Middlesbrough and things like that with that team. They didn't do anything with the first takeover. Once Sheikh Mansour took over in 2009, they then started to build. And then it took them 5 years to win the Premier League, didn't it? Hang on, did it? No, they won it they win it 2012-13? 11-12, yeah. So, sorry, yeah. So it was 6 years after the first takeover. But it was only a couple of years after Mansour took over. So, but don't forget as well that it was different in those days, wasn't it? It was before financial fair play, so Man City made a lot of mistakes, were able to turn it around quickly by continuing to spend money. Everton aren't able to do that. If FFP wasn't there, we could have recycled the team very quickly with Usmanov's money, very, very quickly. You can't do it now. So that's why it's every mistake you made is kind of multiplied by 3 and 4 times. It's just because you're trying to undo those mistakes and you can't do it because of the way financial fair play is. Big Tez in the comments says a lot of people in these YouTube comments who would obviously not go on holiday in order to go into work to try and impress a boss who doesn't like them. Players are not robots. He's been given time off and has chosen to go abroad like many players do. Yeah, just giving some context to James having a little bit of a holiday. I think the manager's given everyone the weekend off. So if you get the weekend off, and listen, these have got more money than we'll ever have. Then therefore you can go and get some sun on your back and have a couple of days with your mates in a nice area, you know, a nice place and swim in the sea and all that. Why not do it? Everton Crow says, obviously not getting a right back in was a massive oversight, but I would rather wait and than give an average player a contract. I do think the right back problem will be less obvious with Townsend helping out whoever it is. Yeah, Townsend is a workhorse on that right-hand side, and he will work up and down and help the full-back out. So I'd rather we got one, but while we haven't, we have to just do what we can, really, don't we? KUEFC says, any idea what happened to the new stadium website they promised before the end of August? It's out. I think it's out, getting done next week. I think. Spoke to someone at the club last week. Said it'll be out within 2 weeks, so it'll be sorted. Dan Boy says, everyone will love Hammers once again once he kills one in at the street end in a few weeks, maybe. Well, it is. We're fickle as football fans, aren't we? Let's be honest. True Blue Water says, excellent show as usual, lads. Cheers. With regards to Hammers, I don't think he deserves to put the badge on. More hard-working players ahead of him in the pecking order. Maybe that's how Rafa Benitez will see it. William McGuinness says, try and sort a 6-month deal with Aurier. Give him time to prove himself to get a longer deal. Well, it'd be a 9-month one, wouldn't it be, for the season? It depends whether he's interested or whether he's got other options. Arsenal looking at him as well, apparently. So, Kevin says, Florida is rife with COVID right now. No, I know, Kev, that's why we've left it this year. Hopefully by next summer, things will be a lot brighter, and then we'll be able to go. Cassie says, are Everton not spending because of financial fair play cash? Yeah, because basically there was the Premier League's version of financial fair play. There's no room in the budget, so we couldn't spend the money. And that's very, very frustrating, of course it is. But there's not really much we can do, is there? Alan Walden says, Andre Gomez to return to form this season. Hope so. Would love it. Would love him to get some kind of form together and really knock on the door, trying to get in that side, because competition for places is exactly what we need. Good options off the bench is exactly what we need. Andre's looked a shell of himself since the injury. But, let's see what he can do. He won't play if he's not putting the effort in, that's for sure. Steve P says, it really annoys me that Zambo Anguissa has gone to Napoli on loan with a 10 million buy option. That's a major steal for him. We should have been looking at loans like that, like a lot of teams did. Yeah, I don't know why Everton didn't move for Zambo Anguissa. He would have been one I'd have gone for, definitely. Carries the ball really well. But I don't know, maybe they think Aubameyang is going to do that job and the money went elsewhere. We've got to accept as fans that the football club won't always see things the way we see. And what can you do with that? Cameron says, how much game time do you expect Rondon to get? Well, I think he's going to start off as sub, isn't he? Because Dominic Calvert-Lewin is our number 9 and is scoring goals. And, Rafa Benitez wants to build a team around him. He's already told them that. But having Salomon Rondon as a viable option off the bench to either come on and help Dom out and go full Bruise Brothers, or to have him to come on and replace Dom when Dom's looking tired, or even to rest Dom for games and not lose the way we're playing. Don't forget, Dominic Calvert-Lewin has played a lot of football and has had to carry the team on his own a lot of the time. Certainly last season, when Richarlison was injured and fell off and went off the boil, Dom had to carry the whole side. We had no one who was a viable sub for him. We brought Josh King in January and he didn't really impress anybody. So we'll have to see what happens. Cillian says, Hammers off the bench is a better option than nothing. Dosbick says, my sister is trying to come home for a visit from Swindon with her kids for the first time since the pandemic started. Fingers crossed for COVID doesn't cross her plans. Yeah, hope she gets home, mate. Ustanov says, if he's that unprofessional, why should we pay half his wages so that he can toff it off over in Turkey? He's got a great opportunity here, but he's not embracing it. Because at the end of the day, if he's not embracing the opportunity here, why should we pay him 200 grand a week to stay? That's the big thing. So what can you do? I kind of get what you're saying, but if you've got a player that you've got to pay, and you're paying him £200,000 a week, then you're not, and he's not really going to play. Then you're wasting almost, £10.4 million a year for the next year. If you go and pay him 100 grand to get off to Turkey, and they pay the other 100 grand, you're saving £5 million, aren't you? At the end of the day. And I guess that may be the way the club will look at it. Mike Mosley says, I listen to these while I do the dishes. Baz makes it less boring. Nice one. Nice one, Mike. Race through them dishes, mate. Jordan says, I'm moving to Liverpool for uni in 2 weeks. We'll try to go to as many games as I can. Last one I went to was in 2017, up the Toffees. Top man, Jordan. Enjoy your time here. Where are we? Yeah, True Blue Water says, Devil's Advocate here. What on earth do we do if Seamus gets injured? JJK. Well, Seamus is injured. True Blue Water. He's injured. Got injured for Republic of Ireland, so he's not playing in their next game. And they don't know whether or not he's going to be fit enough for Burnley next Monday. So we've got a decision. It's either John Joe Kenny or it's Mason Holgate. So there you go. Lockie White says, Baz, do you know how much extra revenue the new stadium will bring in? I have a feeling we're going to sell first, buy at least until we start getting more money to the club. It'll bring in, just straight off the bat, it'll bring in more because the capacity will be, 14,000 more than Goodison is. I actually think it'll be higher. I think it'll be 55,000 when we move in. Well, that's what I'm hoping for. So that'll bring in money immediately, won't it? I think they'll have to push ticket prices up. Hopefully not too much, but every increase will make more revenue. They'll have more corporate stuff going on, which will be, bigger prices because the facilities will be better. They will have more stuff, non-match day stuff going on, so that'll create revenue as well. So it will earn a lot more than we're earning at Goodison. It won't still be to the top level of the likes of Liverpool and stuff because their prices are a lot dearer than us for a start. They've got more corporate stuff and they're up near the top of the league. So every sponsorship deal, shirt, stuff, advertising space in the stadium boosts all that. So we have to get better and better at what we do to get up to that level. Okay, last few. Kevin Kraft says, watched Everton women on Saturday and the mistakes were all in defence. They need to tighten up, stop giving the ball away too cheaply. It's exactly what Ned said. True Blue Water said, what's happening with Tosin? Nothing at the moment. He's rehabbing. I imagine Everton will give him away in January. He's not going to do it at Everton now. He's had 2 big knee injuries. So Everton offered him out. He wouldn't go. He wants his money, obviously. So we'll do his rehab, and I guess he'll toddle off back to Turkey in January, I imagine. And that will be the last we see of him. His contract's up next summer, and like a few others, he'll walk out the club. Us having paid a lot of money for him and not recouping anything on him. It's just the mistakes we have to stop making, basically. Matthew Wade says we have to use James as much as possible this season. He's pure class. And his wages say so. Gordon says, will they sell prawn sandwiches in the new stadium? Yes, they will, absolutely. Hakon says, about Josh King, he had a proper YouTube moment when he missed the mother of all chances this weekend. Oh, did he? Okay.
On the line.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, so there you go. Let me check our Patreon one more time. Make sure I'm not missing anyone out on there. And that's me and Ned done on this. If you are a patron, we will, of course, be live at 5 o'clock for an hour tonight. We can discuss whatever you want to. Right, that is us done. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. That would be massively appreciated. A lot of you watching. Don't forget, download your Ultimate Fan. Get involved. It is free to play. It's a cross between fantasy football and FIFA's Ultimate Team. You can win a prize pot. 8,500 is the prize pot this week. Get involved in it. There is subscriptions if you want to get better players. You get three free players every week. But you can also subscribe if you want to the silver pack, where it's $2.99 a month. You get 3 silver players, and the gold pack, which is $4.99 a month, which is sound. So if you want to do that, do it. But you can play it free, of course. Download. The link is in the description. We'll be doing a video later this week. I'll be revealing my team for the weekend's games later in the week. But listen, thank you very much for joining us. Subscribe if you haven't to the channel. Also give the Footy Show channel a subscribe as well. We'd be massively appreciate all of you doing that. Post your team if you're playing Ultimate Fan and tag us in so we can see on Ultimate Team. Get it done. We will appreciate that. Get those likes up above 100. Thanks for joining us. Take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you later.